All right, good morning, guys. Welcome to the show. Again, this show for Better Dads After Divorce is to provide constant, as much as possible, insight and advice through experiences and education that will be most beneficial for dads going through divorce. This will apply to anybody going through divorce, but I particularly enjoy working with the dads, as that's the experience that I have. So welcome to the show. This week, I want to talk about the confidence crash after divorce. This is what happens in any divorce when that relationship ends. It could have been a 6 months relationship or a 13, 15, 25-year relationship. When that relationship ends, your confidence takes a hit. Your confidence takes a major hit. It's inevitable. And your confidence can take a hit in many ways. There can be just your personal self-esteem, self-worth that takes a hit. The other area it can take a hit is at work, in your professional skills, your professional level. You could take a hit that way where all of a sudden you just don't feel like... Professionally, you could feel like you're not the same person, but also even if it's just personally, that can bleed into work, and then all of a sudden your performance can start to decline at work as well. But there's that confidence crash that happens after you get a divorce, where you had your safe space, you had your person that you liked to be around, that you loved, that you felt like you could talk to. Every once in a while, you'd get. And for the most part, most people would have received this for at least the first significant part of their marriage, right? A partner that loves you, that's affectionate with you, that compliments you, that looks at you and smiles and makes you feel like you matter to them, like you're the world to them, and that there's no way that they'd want to live without you. And we all like that, and we all got used to that, and then all of a sudden that goes away. You start to feel like you're not any of the things that you felt confident in before. Like you're not attractive anymore. You start to feel like your ex might have made you feel dumb, and she's probably said a lot of things that made you question yourself and your intelligence or your street sense or your ability to parent or your, whatever. There's a lot of things that could have been done or said that's now made you feel like you are just no good at it anymore. I'm pretty sure that anybody who's gone through a divorce can understand what I'm talking about. And you start to question who you are as a person. And there's two things I like to look at this topic with. One, that could be a bad thing. When you start to doubt yourself, when you start to let those feelings of negativity and low self-worth and low self-esteem start to take over. The other side of it is maybe you were already living like that for a long time. And now this is an opportunity for you to build. And regardless of which camp you're in, you can get to the point of now this is a chance to build. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. You're not alone in feeling like you've got no sense of purpose anymore. Especially too, here's the other part that plays into a big factor into this is, as a parent, we were involved in our kids' lives to whatever extent it was. And now all of a sudden that could be taken away from us. That could be completely gone. Our goal is for it to stay as it is, as best as we can. So what I always recommend, and I recommend this for a couple reasons, but I recommend that you fight for 50-50 custody. Now, I don't know the circumstances. There may be obvious circumstances that make sense that you fight for full custody. Or there might be circumstances where, maybe you've been in trouble in the past, things have happened or whatever, where you don't get that custody, and you're going to know your situation. And so it's going to need to be adjusted to whatever fits you. But for the most part, Most moms and dads play a key role in their kids' lives, and they need to continue to be that key role in their kids' lives. Divorce does not have to end that. What happens more often than not, though, is the dads lose custody. The dads get the lower end of the custody time with the kids. And there could be different factors, like I said, that play into that. And maybe that's okay with you because that is easier because of work schedule or financially, whatever. But the kids need you in their life. They need their moms. They need their dads. They don't necessarily need them to be together anymore because, in an ideal world you were, but it didn't work out that way. That's fine. We're not dwelling on the past. Moving forward, your kids need you in their life as much as possible. So this is a chance for you to really try and fight for that custody time. It's a time for you to stay in their lives, to really become a better dad. If you're a dad, become a better mom if you're a mom. I can tell you from experience, I've been divorced with children, and when the kids leave and all of a sudden it's just you alone in the house, that's when the negative thoughts come in. That's when all the second guessing and that's when, when the house is quiet, that's when it hurts the most. Because you start to question decisions you've made in the past, but you also start to question yourself. If you are a good person, or if you're a good dad, or, if your kids actually do want to be with you, or they want to see you, who knows, right? I remember many times where my kids I want to go to mom's. When do we get to go to mom's? When do we get to go to mom's? And that's all they would ask me the whole time they were with me. And that hurts. So that's really hard. But I also can tell you that fades as long as you're doing your part. Now, if you want to build some self-confidence and some self-worth, here's your chance to do that. You become the very best version of yourself that you can. Become the very best father or mother that you can. And guess what? You'll all of a sudden start to see the major difference in your kids' lives. And you will be able to see how much they are growing because of the work you're putting in and the efforts that you're putting into being a better dad or a better mom or a better, just a better individual. So that's going to be one of the biggest things that you can do. Now, that's easier said than done. There's different things that you need to do that you can do to make that happen, right? There's the biggest, probably the best recommendation I can give you is to go find a therapist that you're comfortable talking with. Friends are friends. They're great. We need them. Talk to them. Those that'll open up their ears and maybe their shoulder for you, take advantage of that. That's a great friend to have. Your friend isn't going to be the professional therapist that maybe you actually need, though. So if you need it, and most of us in this world do, just because life is hard, and in a divorce, that's 100% understandable reason, a level of hard to justify going to see a therapist. So if you have any kind of hangups on that personally, it should be becoming less taboo in this world. It is for sure, but I mean in your circle as well. So put any pride aside, go find a therapist that you can work with, and see how much that can help you. Open up to them. You're going to get as much out of that as you're willing to put into it. But if you open up to that therapist, then there's a very high likelihood that they'll be able to start helping you rebuild some of that confidence that you've lost and reestablish some of that self-esteem that was lost as well. Now, that therapist helping you individually as a person, maybe it might be worth getting one that can work with you and your kids as well, because kids go through a lot when they go through a divorce, right? If that's something that you as a dad are willing to do with your kids or for your kids, imagine how much better things can be for all of you in your household, in your new house, your new normal, right? Therapy can be your new normal. It is for me. It has been for a long time. And anybody that I can think of in my own circle, my own family, we go to therapists. It's not an abnormal thing, and it's fantastic. Some are better than others. Like I said, find one that you're comfortable talking with and that you feel really resonates with you after you've gone a couple sessions with them, to see if they can start helping you out with some of your, your deeper issues that you're feeling, that you're feeling going through this divorce process. All right. Let's see. Another thing that is really helpful. Now, I don't do this at this stage of my life, but I've done this at other stages of my life, and that's journaling. Journaling can be a massive help for you as well in this process. So many times the things that we are struggling with the most up here in our heads, and we feel them, if we put those down on paper, then guess what? That really does something in our brains. It really does something in our brains to feel like we got something off our chest. I can't tell you how many people, and I know that if you don't have to look very far either to find people that journal and that see the advantages of it. So if that's something that you've done in the past and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when I used to do that. That was actually really helpful when I did that. Do that again. Pick that back up and see if that doesn't help you again with your lack of confidence and your self-esteem that you're trying to rebuild. So journaling, therapy, support groups. There's a lot of support groups out there as well. You can join mine. Mine is specifically tailored for dads. And so that might be the right place for you to be. And it's dads that are going through it or that have been through it. Some are going to be fresh out of the divorce that are in their group. Some are going to be, 10 years past. But guess what? Everybody has something to offer somebody. And in this group where we've got open dialogue that's allowed between dads, there's also group sessions that we put together so that everybody can, bring questions up kind of out loud in a forum with me, and we can talk through them. I've got 17 years experience of being a divorced dad, and I've done it multiple times. And so I've done it more than once. It's not just that happened a long time ago and then I got married and then I was never a single dad again. Nope. I was married and then divorced again, became a single dad again. Married and divorced a third time. I'm the three-peat. Married and divorced and didn't have any more kids with a third wife, but back to being a single dad, and that's where I am right now. So I've got a lot of experience in there, but so do all the other dads. And my experience is just very limited to just me and my life and the world and the bubble that I've lived in. But there's dads from all different walks of life out there that are going through it, and you might resonate with a lot of what other people have to say, with what other dads have to say. So find some kind of a group where you can plug into the community. The Better Dad community is one that I'm really proud of and excited for, to really keep growing for exactly that purpose. Now, the other thing, this is an opportunity where you get to redefine who you are. A lot of times in our marriage, we get lost in life and we're just going to work, coming home, eating food and going to sleep so that you can do it all over the next day. Mixed in with some good stuff here and there, or some, family time here and there. But a lot of times we lose our hobbies. We lose a sense of who we are. We lose a sense of what makes us tick and what gets us excited. And so when we go through a divorce, this really is a chance for you to redefine what makes you go, what gets you excited, what puts that smile on the face, what fills your tank. So take this opportunity to explore different hobbies. If you like sports, or if you used to like sports back in the day, find a league that you can join for other dads that, maybe aren't as high school fit as the high schoolers are, that, that's the kind of vibe that you're looking for. Find somewhere where you can go plug in and see if it brings a smile back on your face. See if it is enough of something that either A, distracts you in a healthy way, because hobbies and activities are very healthy to get involved in. But B, see if it actually is something that you can start finding purpose again in, and maybe join a league, maybe start to compete. I personally fell in love with a sport called disc golf. Now, that might be lame to a lot of you guys. I don't care, because I love it. It actually is something that I got involved in during COVID. But you throw a disc into a basket with chains on it, like a good solid plastic disc that are made just like regular golf. There's drivers all the way down to, fairway drivers, and then mid-ranges and putters. So just like regular golf. And you get to go out. It puts me outside for about an hour and a half to 2 hours usually for one round. And I'm walking and I'm enjoying the nature, the sights, the air, getting, fresh air. It's been my absolute favorite thing to do. And then I can do it by myself. And once you've got the discs, most courses are all free. You just go and you just play. But you can just grab a few starter packs. In fact, reach out to me if you're interested, and I can hook you up with either where to go or local. I can go with you. But it's something that I personally love, and it checks a lot of boxes for me. It gets me out walking. Like I said, it gets me outside. I get to basically hike. I live in Utah. Everybody loves to hike here. I don't love to hike, but do you know what I like doing? I like competing. So disc golf gives me a chance to go compete, and then I get to sign up for tournaments, and I get to play at an amateur level in tournaments and still get that itch for competition as well. So find something like that works for you. Find something that really can check those boxes and give you some excitement again. So that when you've got your kids, you can either bring them along with you and say, hey guys, check this out. I got this new hobby. Let's see if we could do it as a family. Or when their kids are gone and, being at home sucks because the house is quiet and it's time for you to, maybe reset. You get to re-clean your house and kind of start over with laundry and all those things. But then you also get to have the me time where you get to go do something like that. So find hobbies. If you haven't gotten new clothes for a while, go get a new fit. Go get something that when you put on, it makes you feel good. A lot of times, like I said, divorce really crushes that confidence level, but a nice new shirt or jacket or pair of shoes, something that small might make that big of a difference for you. And it's silly to think about, but if you haven't thought about it before, I promise you, try something like that. It can just even make that big of a difference. All right. Next thing, self-care routines. The gym. If you're into the gym, or if you've been into the gym before, just pick that right back up. This is the best time to do it. If you've never done it before, which I personally don't like doing weights, it's something I need to get into. But whenever I have worked out, I've always enjoyed doing the triathlon style stuff, just cardio, running, biking, and swimming. So for me, if I go down to the gym and I swim some laps, that's great for my fitness and for my mental clarity as well. So getting back involved in the gym is a huge thing that I would recommend as well. Something self-care like that, right? Updating your wardrobe, working on your fitness, getting new hobbies, finding a community or group of guys that are going through what you're going through, so that you guys can, even if you're not even talking about divorce and being a dad anymore, but doing something with a group that shares those similar life experiences can be very healing for you as well. So I definitely recommend doing that. Do something that gets you out of your comfort zone. There's another one that can really help with this self-confidence. Do something that you've never done before. Maybe it's find a hike to go do by yourself. Maybe it's go to a sporting event by yourself. Maybe it's go to just plan a solo day trip somewhere by yourself, or even a bigger trip. Maybe go buy a plane ticket to go to, some beach that you've never been to that you've always wanted to but couldn't. Solo traveling, I've not solo traveled, but I've done the solo events where I go out to dinner by myself. I'll go out to a movie. I'll do things like that. And those help. Those help in the moment. They help in the moment, which overall, when you start being comfortable with who you are and being able to do things on your own, then that's helping you with your self-confidence as well. Because slowly but surely, you no longer rely on other people or having a partner or that verbal reassurance from somebody else, which is great to get. It's great to have, but to not need it in order to be happy is where you want to be. Let's see. The other thing is to focus on growth, not perfection. Do not expect that you're going to come out here right out the gates feeling great and having 100% good days, because that will not happen that way. Now, when I coach clients, you guys, I'm not allowed to tell you guys what to do. It's not going to help you guys by me giving you advice or by me, telling you what works best or not. That needs to be something that you figure out. In this setting where I can do video, I can tell you guys a little bit more of what to do, what not to do, and give you some advice on things. And so that's why I like to do this alongside coaching. I want you guys to understand that you're not going to have perfect days, but the important thing is that you're growing. Okay, you're getting closer to that. You're getting closer to having those full days where you didn't sink into a depression state. And we all want that. We want those days where we do not feel that depression. We don't feel that pain. As soon as we can get to that, the better. So do these things that we're talking about, right? Another thing a lot of people do is they do affirmations. Look those things up online. Find some really good affirmations. If you're not the type where you can come up with stuff on your own, which is me, I'm not very creative. I'm not as good at, looking inward and generating things out of nowhere. So I look online for a lot of help, and there's a lot of help out there, but find some daily affirmations that you can do. And what I would recommend, and this is something I've done as well, I find some affirmations that I love, and then I can just tweak them to apply to me in my life and my situation with my kids, or where I'm at, what I'm doing, what my hobbies are, and what my goals are. Change my affirmations to look like, or to match that. So that's something else that I would recommend to you. I always recommend listening to podcasts or audiobooks that are uplifting, that are good for self-help. But those are not the things that are going to make the difference. The difference makers for you and your confidence coming out of this divorce, or trying to get through this divorce, is the daily things that you can do that we've talked about, like journaling, affirmations, activities, staying busy. Something else I didn't talk about is learning a new skill, learning a new craft. For me personally, after I got divorced, I divorced my kid's mom a little over 2 years ago, and I needed to learn how to cook. Okay. It was now me running a household with me and then 4 kids. And so I needed to learn how to cook. I needed to learn how to create some structure, some routine. For me, cooking is a skill. It's not something that anybody knows how to do when they're born. So they have to learn it, right? It can be learned with practice. A lot of times it's just YouTubing and figuring it out, but developing new skills, you can do the ones that are necessary and practical, or you can do the ones that are for fun. Do them both, but find new skills that you can develop, things that are going to be interesting and or helpful for you. Above all, you guys, the advice that I want to give you is, in order to help you be confident again and rebuild that confidence, is to be grateful. Find the things in your life that you can be grateful for, because gratitude is going to be the number one thing that will align us with joy. And I know it's hard. I know that it's hard sometimes to find that or to feel that, but that is the one biggest difference maker that I think that anybody out there online who has gone through hard stuff and has overcome it and been successful, they would tell you that they became grateful and they became focused on being grateful. So that's my recommendation to you, is to be grateful. Find gratitude in your life right now, whether it be the time that you do have with your kids, or your job that you have, the house that you have, the place to live, the circle of influence that you have, the opportunity that you've had to go out and find a new hobby. Find things to be grateful for. For me, I'm grateful for God, and I'm grateful for all the blessings that have come from him. For you, that might be also God. For you, that might be something else or someone else or somewhere else. But find the thing to be grateful for. And that's my biggest bit of advice that I can give you. So I hope these are some good points that can help you out with this confidence crash that happens after we get divorced. Just again, remember, you're not alone. It is one of the hardest things that anybody could go through. And unless they went through it, they won't really understand. So find people that you can talk to and that you can relate with. I never condone bashing your ex. Keep that out of your mouth the best that you can. Don't do that. Don't even have those thoughts, because those thoughts can turn into our actions. They can start to show. So do your best to become at peace in your mind and in your heart. Don't bash your ex. Do your best to build yourself, okay? With all these things that we talked about, that will help build your self-confidence. Take care, you guys.